Hello, everyone. This is Emily from the Youth Services Department at the Lynchburg Public Library. Thank you so much for joining us for our second session of Summer STEAM. Just a reminder, our Summer STEAM videos will be uploaded to YouTube every Thursday this summer from June 11th until July 30th at 10:30 a.m. Be sure to check out the library's website, lynchburgpubliclibrary.org, as well as our Facebook page, for a complete list of virtual events that we will be offering this summer, as well as information about our virtual summer reading program. You're probably wondering why this large stack of books is sitting next to me. Well, for today's Summer STEAM program, we're going to be doing a book stacking challenge. Now, we're not just going to be stacking books like this, because I bet you guys could make a very tall tower of books just by stacking them one on top of the other. No, today we're going to be using different pieces of paper and making different shapes to see which shape can hold up the most books. Today's fun and simple STEAM experiment doesn't require many materials at all. Here is that brief list of materials you'll need. The first step in this experiment is to use our paper to make columns in 3 different shapes. Go ahead and grab your first piece of paper now. The first shape we're going to make is a cylinder. To make a cylinder, take your paper and roll it so that you make a shape that's circular all the way around. It sort of looks like a paper towel roll. Take a piece of tape and put it on one end so that the tape covers both sides of the paper. Then do the same on the other end. Now you have your very first column. Set it aside for now and we'll test it later. The next shape we're going to make with our paper is a triangular column. To create this shape, we're going to take a piece of paper and divide it into thirds this way. Be sure to make a nice crease on this shape. So you should end up with something like this. 1, 2, 3. Now, taping this one is going to be a little more difficult than it was for the cylinder because we don't have much overlap. Take a sort of long piece of tape, place it on one side of the top, and then fold it over. You may need several pieces of tape for this shape. So you should end up with a shape that has triangles at either end. Right, and we'll set that one next to our cylinder over here. Now for our final shape. This one is going to be a square column. What we're going to do to make a square is take our paper and fold it in half this way. Then open up your paper and it should look like this. And you're going to fold each half in half. Be sure to make nice creases on all of these so that your column will hold its shape during the experiment. So you should end up with a square on either end. And we'll go ahead and apply tape so that our shape stays together for the experiment. As was the case with the triangular column, taping is a little bit more of a challenge with the square column than it was for the cylinder column. So when you're putting these edges together, hold it steady, grab a piece of tape, and try to place the tape halfway onto one of the edges, and then overlap it onto the other edge. It helps to make a crease here as well. And if it helps you to have a sibling or family member hold the shape while you apply the tape, or vice versa, go for it. STEAM is all about collaboration and teamwork. Right, I'm going to apply at least one more piece of tape here. All right, so we are going to end up with a shorter column, but it is still a column, and it has two squares on the end. So there are our 3 columns that we're going to be testing with our book stacking challenge today. Before we start the experiment, I would love to know your hypothesis. That means, what is your guess for the outcome of this experiment? Which of the 3 columns, square, triangular, and cylindrical, do you think will hold the most books? Remember, even if your hypothesis ends up being disproved, that's okay. One of the most fun things about STEAM is learning something new. Don't feel like you need to know everything before you get started. Let's go ahead and test our square column first. The books I am using for today's test come from the Lynchburg Public Library's Easy Reader section. These books are hardcover, but are very thin and relatively light. You may not have this exact same kind of book at your house, so feel free to test with any books you would like. But keep in mind that lighter weight books, whether it be thin hardcovers like these or paperback books, will work the best for this experiment. If you use a large encyclopedia, chances are none of the columns will be able to bear all of that weight. Let's start stacking. There's one. That's 2. Oh, goodness! So the square column could only hold 2 of these Easy Reader books. What kind of results did you get for your square column? Next, let's try the triangular column. There's 1. That's 2. Oh, goodness! The triangular column also could only hold 2 of these Easy Reader books. What results did you get for your triangular column? All right, let's try our last column. the cylindrical column. There's one. There's two. There's three. There's four. Oh, goodness. So our cylindrical column could hold 4 of these easy reader books. So let's go over our results. And remember, these might be different for you, depending on the exact paper you were using, the books you were using, etc. Our square column could hold 2 easy reader books. The triangular column could also hold 2 easy reader books. The cylindrical column could hold 4 easy reader books. So, according to our experiment, which column was able to bear the most weight? Right, the cylindrical column. Now I'm going to show you guys a couple of slides of columns that were seen both in ancient times and modern times, and take note of the shape. See if they are square, triangular, cylindrical, or a different shape. Let's take a look at those slides. As you can see from the slides, cylindrical columns have been used both in ancient times and modern times. That's because they can bear the most weight. Why do you think that's the case? Let's take one more look at our columns to see why the cylinder can hold the most weight. What do you notice that the square and triangle have in common that the cylinder does not have? Right, the triangular column and the square column both have edges. The triangular column has 3 edges. 1, 2, 3. The square column has 4 edges. 1, 2, 3, 4. The cylinder is round and doesn't have any edges. The weight of the books becomes concentrated on the edges of both the triangular column and the square column. As such, the strain put on those edges makes the columns less able to hold weight. For the cylindrical column, the weight is evenly distributed throughout the circular shape. As such, the cylindrical column is stronger and is able to hold more weight because the entire shape, not just the edges, is helping bear the weight of the books. So, how did your paper columns stack up? Feel free to send photos of your experiment to the Lynchburg Public Library Facebook page via Messenger. I hope that you enjoyed today's fun and simple STEAM activity. Please join us next week for an ooey gooey science experiment. Thank you so much, take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye!